Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Victor, good to see you.
Hey, hey,
You have Echo Can. Oh, wait, you're on the wrong mic.
I'm on a wrong mic. Okay, let's fix that. I hope that it works.
Or your video is already choppy without the mic.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay, webcam it is.
Webcam it is. We got to figure that out. We need to spend a day before you start traveling again.
I don't know, man. I had a stream yesterday and it worked.
Well, it semi-worked. I watched it back.
You watched it, so semi-worked.
Semi-worked, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know either. Anyway, hi
You're
everybody.
going to have to watch me through an ugly webcam. What can I do?
That's fine. Actually, can you turn that light back on that you had?
Turn the light
That does
back
help your
on.
face.
Yes, I can
Yeah,
do that.
that helps your face a little bit more.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, enough of this. Okay, so I was running late today, so we couldn't test it out before. And this is the other thing too. It doesn't happen when we're not streaming. It only happens when we're live. So I don't understand.
You know, I'm coming to the realization that technology might be the cause of almost all our problems. And we're in the wrong industry then. We should be growing potatoes or something like that.
Oh, okay. How about chilies instead? I can eat chilies. I can't eat potatoes anymore. I'm not supposed to. Friday ops.
You cannot get nutrients for chili. You still need something tangible.
Anyway, hi everybody. My name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern and on Fridays. Since we're not traveling right now, thankfully, I was talking to Whitney this morning. We're texting with her. Between you and her, I don't know why even bother having a place to live. I mean, a certain time of year, yes, but at certain points of the year, it's like, why have a place? You're going from hotel to hotel to hotel.
Yeah, I mean, I still have other members of this household. She could literally rent out her home and kind of spend those few days that she's not traveling in a hotel, and still it would be cheaper for her.
Yeah, Luther called it right here: AI, DevOps, and farming. I used to be able to talk about farming. I can't anymore. We had 7 acres at my house, and growing up, that's how I come home, do homework, work in the garden till the sun goes down, get up, do it all over again. Let's get into it because we're going to try to demo something today that came out this week. Operative word, try. This week's episode was with Pete Hunt from Dagster. Pete was one of the original people that worked on React, so we can blame him, along with many other people. But good. I can't remember what we talked about because we recorded this, I think, in October. Again, for people that don't know, we record podcasts usually pretty good in advance. As it gets closer to the end of the year, we record really in advance. It's like we try to do about 2 months in advance. It's like 8 weeks. That's reasonable. Most things, unless it's AI, aren't going to change in 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, we've gone through 7 cycles at that point. But anyway, we're talking about data pipelines. That's right. So anyway, that was today's show. Just an update on subscriptions. For ad-free subscriptions, I am working with my provider, and they are working with Apple. I learned something very interesting this week. So there's basically, in our podcast host, which is Libsyn, they have agreements with Apple to do Apple subscriptions almost as a one click. It's actually 2 clicks. So the first click is easy. The second click is not working right now. There's a bug on the Apple side.
You try to click it kind of stronger.
Well, okay. Yeah, I've tried all different.
Don't work without enough pressure, you know.
I tried that, and then I finally opened up a support ticket, and the guy replied from Libsyn and said, "Hey, look, there's a known problem. We're waiting on the guy at Apple to fix it." He says, "I've talked to the developer, and before he went on break, and he said he just got back from break." I went, "Oh, so there's one guy at Apple that does this integration. One guy. His name isn't Brent, sense. But it's this."
I mean, how important do you think that is relative to Apple business in general?
It's small. It's negligible. But as soon as that's ready, I'm going to get that one launched. And I'm still working on one to where if you're using Overcast, Spotify, we're going to be up in the because Spotify doesn't have anything yet, but Spotify later this year is going to be able to do that. And I'm not sure how. Anyway, the other thing will be coming. So I'm going to try to get it all happening. So thank you for listening to the ads. We appreciate it. It sucked, but we needed to do it. All right. So that's enough about the podcast for right now. I saw this. We had Tailscale. We had Avery on from Tailscale back towards the end of last year. And I saw this post from Sydney is Tailscale's CMO. And this is an interesting story to me. This morning, and the reason why I put this up front is because we've had Tailscale on before, and I want to talk about them, give them props here. The Tailscale team woke up to a huge spike in new personal users, talking a 60% jump from our all-time single-day high. They were trying to figure out, this can't be real. So we assumed dashboard, data was broken, pulled analytics, everything's good. Turns out a new game called Hightail, cooler Minecraft, never heard of it, launched in early access yesterday, and that was earlier, I think it was Monday or something. And a Notion guide explaining how to play Hightail with friends using Tailscale went viral. So what Sydney's thing here is, this has to be one of my favorite Tailscale as a platform moments. They didn't build a campaign. A community member solved a real problem using Tailscale organically, and Tailscale got pulled into the ecosystem because it works. Mm-hmm. So anyway. And Hightail is getting more. Because I hadn't heard of Hightail. I'm not a gamer. But now it's like, okay, I've heard of Hightail.
There you go.
I thought it was an interesting story. And again, it was one of our guests before. So we'll talk a little bit more around this in just a minute too. A quick note from the CNCF, a decade of open source in the CNCF. Can you believe it's been 10 years? 10?
Yeah, I mean, what's like 11, 12 years of Kubernetes? That means, slightly less of CNCF.
More than 300,000 contributors. Okay. Maybe, but I get it.
I mean, contributor is a funny number.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Because that's kind of anybody who ever made a single line of change to anything is a contributor, right? Mm-hmm. More interesting numbers are, how many people commit weekly or bi-weekly. Let's say at least once a month, twice a month.
Yeah. But of course, that number isn't here. So anyway, I just figured, it was short. I figured they'd talk more about it, but then it was like, oh, that was just a thank you. That's all it was. A post from the Register. Most devs don't trust AI-generated code, but fail to check it anyway. The Register is great at writing headlines. I have to give them that. 96% of developers believe AI-generated code isn't functionally correct, yet only 48% say they always check the code generated with AI assistance before committing it.
Isn't that very similar to the story, kind of how most people don't trust third-party libraries?
Yeah.
But everybody's using them nevertheless, right? Kind of like, are they potentially problematic? Yes. Will you ever check what they do? No.
Which sort of leads us to another post that I saw on LinkedIn.
But sorry for a
Go
second,
ahead.
going back to that's still a staggering number.
It is.
I cannot believe that 1 out of 2, every second developer does not check what AI did in any form of way, assuming that I'm interpreting this correctly.
Correct. That, and well, to me, the bigger number is the 96% believe that AI code isn't functioning correctly. Right? So what does that tell you if they don't believe it's functioning correctly?
I couldn't care less.
Okay. Here's what it means.
I mean, not that I couldn't care less, but that's my interpretation of the
I couldn't care.
In their heads.
Right. Which I want to go to this next story. I just stumbled across this. The SQLite dev team spends half their time writing tests. What that means is this 96% don't care about writing tests. Because
they care. They let AI test itself.
Well, okay, maybe. Hey, can you check and see if you've got echo cancellation on?
Maybe.
It feels like it's dropping a little bit. But anyway, I want to stick with this, and we might bounce back and forth a little bit. There was where this quote came from, and again, this posting, I have not put everything in. Nope. Did you go back to the camera? Why did you do that?
Does it work now?
Yeah, it's working fine right now.
Yeah, echo cancellation. There we go.
Is that it? That's
because when you said it, I remember that I turned it off for the stream I had earlier.
Oh, yesterday you did. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. So all right, let's see how it goes.
StreamYard, go F yourself.
No, be nice. But let's go through, because I don't have the same. Well, I also have it turned off. Anyway, writing tests. This is what allows them to change code fearlessly, move fast. This is the exact insight AI teams need to know. Having tests. And I've been arguing, I think you've argued this to a point as well, that if a human needs to write any code, they need to be writing the tests. I mean, at least assisting really close with the test. I mean, that the tests need to be gold compared to the actual running code.
I have thoughts on that, which I don't know whether you stop me if you don't want to enter, but I think that writing unit tests might not be as useful as it was. I'm leaning now towards integration tests, functional tests, almost 100%.
I'm in agreement with you on that. And yeah, you saw your video drop.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with that. I don't think unit tests are as important as integration of functional today.
Because think about it this way, right? What is the main purpose of unit tests? And I will argue that main purpose of unit test is not testing. The main purpose of unit test is for you to actually figure out how you're going to write this function, right? I'm big into test-driven development and what's not, at least before AI. So it helps me think, it helps me structure, it helps me organize, and testing itself is a side project, right? Side product. Now, I'm not organizing anymore. I'm directing. I'm a director, right? Conductor. So I think it's a waste. And then what will happen with unit tests if you let AI write them? So if you write unit tests, it's not going to work because and you use AI to write code because AI is going to do something completely different, right? It's not processing your thinking. And if you let AI write unit tests, they're just going to be a pile of garbage. Functional tests are different because you see them, right? It's not gazillion tests. It's kind of like, okay, this should happen. Cool. Let's develop it. Or let's test what we develop, depending on the order you do. So functional tests if you're doing agentic coding.
Right. And I don't think the SQLite team is. And this quote, there's a quote here from the lead for SQLite. And I want to go ahead or SQLite is the actual correct way to say it, I believe. Yes, I know. Go ahead. I should have already opened that. But the key part here, but once we got that, talking about testing, got aviation grade testing in place. Aviation grade testing. You have to think about this. They test their software because it is embedded inside of avionics. It went to Mars, literally, and Jupiter. I believe they had it in the Jupiter probe. So once they had this level of testing in place, and to me, that's functional. I mean, sure, there's some unit there, but that's functional. That's integration tests.
Yep.
The number of bugs dropped to a trickle. Still have bugs, but the testing allows us to move fast. And they go through this stuff, and they said over the 17-year history, this was back in 2019, by the way, we have amassed a huge suite of tests, which we run constantly. Other database engines don't do this, don't have at least the same level of testing. Again, talks about Postgres here. And he talked to him, it's like, how do you prevent bugs? Talked about it for a while. The way he interpreted what Postgres did, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, is they have a very elaborate peer review process. If they had code for 10 years, they don't mess with it, leave it alone, it works. Whereas the SQLite team says, we change our code fearlessly because we have a much smaller team and don't have a peer review process.
There was, when I was in Atlanta for KubeCon, I was in a dinner with mostly Postgres people. There was very interesting conversation, which the summary of conversation is that there might be 5 people on the planet that understand PostgreSQL inside out.
I would believe that. Because there's been so
I'm not saying
many
5 people who contribute to PostgreSQL, but they're in different areas of PostgreSQL. But 5 people that you ask, okay, what is this? And they tell you, that's what it does.
Couldn't we say that of probably any large-ish open source project?
I mean,
there's probably a very small handful that know it completely inside and out.
Yeah. That might be different for commercial. So I wouldn't be surprised that the number of people for Oracle is much higher because you're
There's
here
money.
for life, man.
Yeah.
Kind of like this is your life now.
Yeah, but dropping back to the Olson post here real quick, without proper eval coverage, test coverage, shipping LLM changes is slow. You make a prompt update, manually test a few cases, deploy, see if the user complains each iteration. Whereas you have robust evals, you test against hundreds of cases immediately.
Yes.
So we're just saying testing is key. And I think what you're saying, you're not saying unit tests are bad and they are not valuable. You're saying they are not like what they were.
Yes, they are much less valuable.
Yeah.
Comparatively with how valuable they were, because again, it's not.
And compared to integration tests is the key part.
Because that's how your brain is thinking now, right? If you're doing agentic coding, you're not thinking on that low level.
No, you're not.
Right? So you're thinking integration tests are on a level of your thinking now, while in the past you were thinking on a functional level.
Yeah.
Right? So you were writing unit tests because that's your level of thinking.
Right. I have a feeling we'll be talking about this a lot more. And again, this Olson guy, they're tackling something, but it's like, okay, great. What is domain experts create eval suites as easy as grading papers? What was that called before? There was the one testing tool. Basically, you wrote Markdown and with all your test cases. I can't remember what it was called. Yeah. Anyway.
Think about how does the user feedback work in this world? Because
who's the user?
You're a database user.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Something doesn't work, you report it. You create an issue. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
Some people just complain and never report it. But let's say a percentage of people reports it. With LLMs, do you report kind of like, oh, the answer was not satisfactory? You don't.
No. I don't even know how you could, unless you were already training your own model or fine tuning a model for yourself. That would be the only reason
but I'm
to do it.
talking about now users of something you built.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on from this. I have another LinkedIn post I just saw this morning. In the past, the journalist who could build a Rust backend, design a React front end, deploy a Kubernetes cluster, and fix the coffee machine got passed over. All the specialists got the jobs. That's over. In 2026, the deep technical skills matter less than the ability to ship. The person who gets stuff done, who treats every problem as their problem, is going to win.
Yes.
If you're still hiring for narrow expertise, you're hiring for yesterday. I thought that was pretty good. And unfortunately true. We've always said this, right? I mean,
I'm not sure whether it's unfortunately true, but I would say true.
For people that don't have multiple skills and they're a one-trick pony.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That was always bad, right? Now it's bad because of AI. Before it was bad because we decided not to use DB2 anymore.
Speaking of DB2, all my new code will be closed sourced from now on. This guy, Mark, has thrown the gauntlet down. Talks about Tailwind. We talked about Tailwind last week. Lots of downloads, revenue down, traffic down, engineering laid off. Two of the most common open source business models: open core, yes, and expertise mode. Be the expert in your library, consulting gigs, speaking, higher salary, whatever. Right? Those are the two key things.
I don't think that those are two key things, but okay.
Well, from open source business models, right? Those are the two.
Yeah, I mean, if it's I'm the only one, I'm the only person in this project, then yes.
Right.
Kind of, you cannot, if it's open source project where you have a business with people to feed.
Different conversation.
You don't have expertise mode.
Right, but you got the open core part of it. Right, that.
Yeah, I mean,
you fall probably into that one.
Yeah, maybe. I would say you basically don't develop certain features that you know that bigger orgs will need.
Right. So he answers the question of why go closed source when the monetization funnel is broken. Again, these two were the funnels for most people, or a good chunk of this. You move payment to the only point that exists, access. You want it, you pay for it. It's fine. The final irony, open source trained the models, now killing it. We built our own replacement. Isn't that our job, though? As a consultant, that was the one thing I always say is like, look, I'm trying to replace myself. I'm trying to work myself out of a job as quickly as I can. Because that was the best for the company.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, open source mod. Again, this was always true. It's not that models killing it. Simply, people use open source. They don't pay for open source. Mm-hmm. And which is fair when you're individual users, but companies use open source. They don't pay for open source, right? Probably 98% of code that is used in enterprises is open source. And they pay for those 2% to Red Hats of the world.
Right.
It's broken.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy has made the decision to do this. It's like, okay, that's great. See how it plays out. Claude Cowork came out this week. You have to be on the max plan. You have to be on a Mac. So it's a very small-ish, or it's not small, I guess. I've looked at it. I haven't tried it yet. I'm just I have some problems with how much access it has.
There is no good reason why you would try it out.
That I need it, no.
Because here's my understanding of that thing. That's a wrapper of Claude Code.
Correct.
Right? They realize that Claude Code is extremely popular, extremely useful, but it's a nerd tool. Right? Mm-hmm. You cannot convince somebody from sales to, hey, yeah, open a terminal, execute Claude and command, and from there on, it's easy. It's but ugly for you. I mean, it's beautiful for me, right? Yeah. But not for somebody who is not into it. So this is basically 1 week of work to convert Claude Code into desktop application. Much more is to come, and it makes perfect sense. Not for you, not for me. Now, you will not get any benefit.
You just said 1 week. Did you know that's the story behind it, correct?
I cannot guarantee it's a week and not 8 days, but in that ballpark,
right.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the developer said, yeah, we did it in like a week.
Yeah.
That's like, holy cow. Now I feel bad if it's taking me longer than a week to work on a project, just because, shoot, I should be able to do it faster.
If it takes you more than a week, you're doing it wrong today.
Yeah. If you are in the DevRel space, or you're just trying to figure out how to get your content into the LLMs, this is a post that will help you do that. Victor. I need to send this to Whitney too. But it's just talking about all the different things. We already have some of this on the DevOps Paradox site. I haven't backported it into Victor's site yet. But the LLM's text is the number one thing. And you just tell it what it can do, what it can't do. This is nothing massive, but it's good to have. But again,
we are yet to see what will be really the standard. The only thing I have clear at this point on that level is that it's mostly about efficiency.
Yes.
Right. So it's not that it will not find you, it will not have the relevant information if you just publish a typical website, but it will be very inefficient, right?
Right.
Because website is mostly garbage.
Yeah.
Right. There is a very small percentage of useful stuff there.
Yeah. But this is a good general post to understand. And they have this whole, it's funny because a guy that I follow for doing video, answer engine optimization, right? And the guy that I've used to model all the Jenkins videos that I did and Clobby's videos I did basically came up with this idea years ago, just didn't give it the name. And it's basically looking at the long tail of things. Because people, when you have a problem, it's not like you have a 3-word problem. You have an 8 to 10 to 15 word problem. Like today, I couldn't remember how to verify the SHA of a file. So I had to go look it up and finally figured it out. Quick X post. I saw this. I wonder if the future of courses are targeted at AI instead of humans. Instead of selling a video course, you sell a folder with structured markdown as a reference for agents the human uses. We're already seeing that, but they're just not selling it. Except there is one that is selling it for $250 a year.
I know that. What's the name of that website for courses?
Which one? That's the problem.
Anyways,
Udemy? You talking about Udemy?
Udemy, their revenue is just bonkers now. How low it is.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was interesting. So in all, because I didn't put this in the show today, there's a site called faster.dev that just launched this week. It's actually got a fun little thing. You can use your mouse and flip through all the stuff. That's sort of fun. But nice. Basically, it's a site that was probably written with AI. It's $250. They haven't shipped anything yet. But you're going to get the system of Jules. Basically, you get, not Jules, tools. Claude Code from scratch, Claude skills, tips and tricks, and knit. Just all this stuff's coming. So here's where I think the value is for $250 a year, and even if you only do it for a year, this guy that's writing it is pretty good. I followed him for a while just on other things. It would be worth it to fast track yourself to get to that point. But anyway, that's faster.dev. Where was I? I was there. Okay, good. Okay, let's take a palate cleanser for just a second and get away from AI. Can we do that?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For those of you that hate giving bad meetings or hate sitting in bad meetings and you'd rather try to spice it up, if you're on a Mac, there's this thing called Boom. Is it called Boom or Boom Video? I don't remember which it is. So it will integrate with Zoom, Teams, bless your heart, Google Meet, FaceTime, Discord. It's basically OBS, but not OBS. It's custom built for you to present. Like I also have Ecamm. So this has all the tooling plus it's specific for just doing these types of presentations in a presentation tool. I've got Ecamm. I could do it with that, but this is more purpose built to do the thing. Nice. Trusted by people at Amazon, Atlassian, Salesforce, Shopify. Well, we say that. Maybe trusted by coaches at, so normally you see this, right? In fact, that's sort of like what we have here right now. Whereas now you could change it over to make it look cooler if you wanted to.
Nice.
And you can also just do it for recording too, if you wanted to record. So record screen live sessions. Again, Mac only. Virtual backgrounds if you wanted. That's a horrible idea, by the way. Don't do virtual backgrounds. Stream Deck pricing is $10 a month or $360 one time, so basically 3 years, which I think is a pretty reasonable thing for that. Anyway, okay, palette cleansed, right? We didn't talk AI at all in this one story.
I'm sure that there is AI somewhere there hidden. I'm sure of that.
Oh, I'm sure there is too, but at least it's not called out up front. Some GitHub things today. Let's look at the changelog for Claude Code. We're just going to go deep into it. Last week, the big news was, what was it? The skills hot reloading. What did that come in? I don't remember. Anyway, 19 just launched a few hours ago, at least from my perspective. And then 1.9 and then 1.7 came out earlier this week. So we're back in our almost daily releases now. I looked through the release notes. I didn't see anything super cool there may be here, but it's just not stuff that I tend to do. The one thing I have realized recently is using plan makes a big, huge difference. Big, freaking huge difference. And if we have time at the end, I'll explain why.
Okay, yeah.
Because it just... I can tell a story that I ran into last night. Do you realize Claude Code is keeping me up past my bedtime? And that's not a good thing.
That's past 5 p.m.?
Past 8 p.m., but yes. Anyway, let's see the other thing. Okay, anyway. Trail of Bits brought out a plugin this week. I think it was this week. Yeah. And a handful of things. Smart contract plugins, entry point analyzer. So Trail of Bits is a security analysis tool place. So that's what most of this is built on. Code auditing, verification, like constant time analysis. I could tell a long story. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it was basically, I'll tell a little bit. A Go CLI that, was it a CLI or API on this one? I can't remember. Anyway, it was basically, I had constant time, so therefore you could figure out the key over time because the time was constant. And that's a bad thing. Who would have known? And then a couple other things. So there's a lot of plugins. And once you realize what a plugin is, it's just a structured directory. So there's the plugins. And then you can say there's that one. Claude plugin that's basically a manifest. It's a skill, and that's it. Right? It's just a nice way of dealing with things. Here's the big thing I'm figuring out in writing skills and working with other people on them. My skill works great for me. The chances it's going to work great for you is probably low. Mid to low. Because my way of working is different than your way of working. Now, I'd hope Trail of Bits might, there's a few things here that SimGrep and that stuff, but like how to fix an issue. The way I would fix an issue is different than probably most everybody else because I'm lazy.
It also depends on skills. Some skills are probably potentially universal.
Yeah.
Right? Well,
that's what I'm saying. Some of these are probably okay from a universal standpoint, like static analysis. Okay, that's probably universal.
Yeah.
It's universal for the language that it's in. This is because the tooling is different, right? Going from Go, because I've got one skill I'm doing. I'm working, one project is Go, one project is JavaScript. Don't ask me why.
But that's the thing, right? Universal part is already known to LLMs.
Yeah.
So you don't need a skill.
Correct.
So, hey, I'm analyze this code, perform static analysis. It will do the universal part.
Right.
Right. What is not universal are parts that are specific to me. Hey, we always go through all medium and high outcomes, right? We review them one by one, and we create a new pull request, whatever, right? That the problem is always with non-universal things, and that defies the purpose of skills like that, right? Because either they're solving things that are useful to you, but LM already knows, so you don't need a skill, or it's solving a problem that is specific to you and it cannot be solved by anybody but you.
Yeah. So anyway, this one is Trail of Bits, and then a friend of ours, you remember Arnaud, right?
Yeah.
Arnaud created a plugin for Get Butler because he uses Get Butler. We talked about Get Butler before, but it's just slash commands in his case. He doesn't have any agents in his, so he launched that this week. Okay, Auto Claude has been out for a bit. It looks very interesting to me. I talked to somebody that talked to somebody, so I'm getting this third hand. But supposedly it's cool, but burns tokens like nobody's business. So that would be my warning. But it's Auto Claude. It's a multi-agent coding framework, which is okay, sure, why not? You need Pro or Max subscription, the CLI, and a Git repository. And then you just go off and all the features, autonomous tasks, parallel execution, isolated workspaces, all the stuff you would expect.
So that's for those 48% we mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it's everything's... yeah.
Honestly, I would love the world in which I could sleep well at night by not reviewing what agents do. I would love that.
Yeah.
And if I could have that, man, I would be running 100 of them in parallel.
Right. Well, here's it's Kanban based, so you can see issues moving through. Basically TMUX, in my opinion, right? Just a terminal that's been sliced up, whether it's TMUX or not. And AI, feature planning and everything else. So, again, people say it's cool, but it burns tokens. So you gotta be careful if you want to be careful.
If you're going to work on 10 tasks in parallel,
you're gonna be burning tokens anyway.
Let it burn tokens.
Yeah.
Let it burn, man. Kind of like if you're replacing 10 people or whatever, kind of like.
Let me rephrase that. If you're going to be doing 10 tasks, 10 agents, whatever, and go to bed, let it burn. Because if you're trying to manage 10 agents all at once, I do good with just 2. And it's like, oh.
I'm fine with 2. 4, that was my maximum I reached, and my brain was fried, man.
Yeah. Because
I could not sustain it for more than an hour.
And how different were the 4 projects you were working on? Or was it all in one project?
All different projects.
All different projects, right. The amount of context switching you have to do.
Yeah.
I think I said this last week. It's sort of like having people drop by your cube or by your office. Hey, you got a second?
Yeah.
You got a second? You got a second? It's like...
Yeah. And just to be clear, I'm not talking about working on 4 in parallel that they're doing autonomously and I wait for them to finish.
Right.
That I can do 100.
Yeah.
I just don't reject to do it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 4, whenever it does some reaches and edit. So basically I'm switching, okay, edit, yes, no, edit, yes, no, edit, yes, no, edit, yes, no, and then do the circle. It's just codifying. I cannot do it.
It's too much. Anyway.
I'm not sure even why, to be honest. I mean, is it cool? Yeah, very cool. But working on 1 makes me much more productive. Do I need to be much more productive than much more productive? I'm not sure.
So here's the reason why I'm more productive is why it's going off and doing its thing. I'm looking ahead to the next thing.
Exactly.
To figure out what I'm going to do next. What's the next thing I'm going to do for this? Yeah. This launched this week. It's called One Code. It is everything you need to work with Claude Code effectively. Now, how this compares to Auto Claude, I don't know. Parallel agents, full Claude Code power, keyboard first UI, sign in, run agents, ship from the UI. Pricing is this. What is it? It is an open source app, which we'll get to in a second. Provides a calm visual interface. Okay, look. When you're writing your marketing, sure, use what AI writes for you as a starting point. But there is nothing calm about what we do in development. Nothing. Okay. I'll leave that there. Is it open source? Okay. Yes, it's fully open source. So if we take a look at the root repository, so here's the difference. So let's look at this again. Here's the free forever, self-hosted, community support, blah, blah, blah. There's pro version and max version, gives you unlimited web apps, different PR flows, whatever. Who cares? I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, it is Apache 2, so yay. I hadn't looked at that yet. So I'm glad that's there. It is very young, like 0014, very young. I haven't tried it yet. You have to install it. Actually, is there a build or is it? No, you have to build it from source. I was reading about this. So you have to build it from source. And initially...
Come on, it takes literally 5 minutes with Claude to set up GitHub Actions.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason why I think, because they don't want to make it too easy. It's just 3 lines.
Okay.
bun install, bun run build, bun run package, whichever one you want to do. And I think they would rather spend their time building features, especially right now, versus trying to debug any build problems that they're having.
Yeah.
If it's this, because if I'm running on, like I'm still on this machine, I'm still on Sonoma, I think, which is 2 versions behind Tahoe. Things may be different. Or you've got a problem with Node or whatever. So it's like, okay, whatever your machine is, if it builds on your machine, great. If it doesn't build on your machine, then you're probably not going to be able to run.
Yeah.
Again, I'm stretching right now, but
this is me saying after actually starting to really, really like TypeScript. Mm-hmm. If you want to build a CLI, you do it with a language that compiles to a binary.
Yes.
Kind of Go would not have this problem. You kind of like I can confidently build Go binary and say, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
As long as I build it for, multiple architectures, which is trivial.
Yeah. Which is what I've got like 2 Go binary or 2 Go CLIs happening right now. It's whatever. Okay. Let's move to let's talk about your video for this week that came out, I believe it was yesterday. It was a little late for you, not late. You still made it in the week, right? You're still inside the window.
Yeah.
And I finally figured out how to make sure the thumbnail is always there. Turn off autoplay. Because when I resize the browser, like I put it in theater mode today, but usually when I resize it, autoplay. So now I can just turn off autoplay, which is right down here. It's like right there. And refresh it and wait for the ads to play through, and then it stops. It's great. Sorry. What is this about? Because I also saw another post from somebody. You initially had north, south, east, west, or something was the title, and you changed that. So
yeah,
I saw somebody else posting about it this week. What's going on?
It's just kind of, it was about time I realized I haven't really explored API gateways in video ever. It's API gateways, and Zuplo is the one I used.
You've never talked about API gateways?
No, at least not in a dedicated video. I mean, I'm at
sure.
It, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So
that's Zuplo.
If you want to understand what API gateways are, that's the video.
Okay. Let's see what we're going to pull off here today. So Agent Browser launched this week. It is from Vercel. Mm-hmm. It works with any AI agent, or you don't have to use an AI agent if you don't want to. That's sort of the key part. It's a CLI.
Any CLI works with any AI agent.
Yeah.
And this is a CLI, basically. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a 2-parter. There's a CLI that's a Rust CLI, but there's also a node that's managing. So basically it's wrapping Playwright.
Yeah.
And I've got it installed on this machine. So we're going to, and so I went through, actually, let's take a look at the installation. It goes in as so the installation is a global NPM install, which I was like, I don't know about that. But then once I realized, okay, it needs to be because of everything else that's happening. And then I did Agent Browser install, which it just worked. Then I got to quick start. So here's the basic workflows of how you would use it. Open it, do a snapshot. Now, not snapshot from a picture standpoint, even though there's probably something in there. It's a snapshot of, okay, what is its current state?
Yeah.
This is the problem with me thinking Playwright. Now I'm thinking snapshot. It's like, why are you doing image? What does that matter? It's like, oh, no, it's the state of it. And then it automatically builds these refs.
Image matters as well. That would be a screenshot over there. Lower.
Correct. The lower one. The screenshot. Thank you. But I think snapshot, and that means screenshot to me. So,
yeah.
So here's all the different things. And here's an AI workflow optimized for AI agents, which we're going to look at in just a moment. And you also can run it in headed mode if you want to track it, which I thought was pretty cool. Just to see, okay, is it doing what it's doing?
Yeah.
Command selectors. So the key part to this is selectors. So once it pulls in a page, it assigns a reference to it. You can also use CSS selectors, right? This is the classic use a selector, but you don't have to. So There's snapshots streaming agent mode. Okay, so here's the agent mode for this. JSON output, it's looking for JSON because machines can deal with JSON. Again, they probably should have done, tune? They probably should have done tune instead. But, okay, JSON's fine, whatever. Optimal workflow is this. Again, it's like, okay, what do I have to write? Well, all we have to do is use agent browser to test the login flow. This is one thing I've noticed when I'm writing skills. Run CLI -help to see the available commands, because that's what you want to do. But there's also a Claude Code skill. Now, when I installed this on this machine, I use FNM. I don't remember what it stands for, but that's what I use, how I manage my node installations. So I don't have a node modules directory anywhere. It just doesn't exist. So when I installed the skill in the repo we're going to take a look at, I just did it straight from the repo down here at the bottom.
So there is a skill that needs to be used to make this work?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But it helps because it gives the definition. We'll take a look at that. In fact, let me go ahead and switch out of this mode.
That brings me to what I believe is the biggest problem with tools like that. So let's say that, let's change it. Let's change it to GH, GitHub CLI.
Same thing. Yep.
I will argue there is no point, if you're talking about coding tasks or development tasks, to use any MCP. It's pointless.
Correct.
Claude Code, Cursor, whatever, will happily use GH, and here comes the critical point. It knows exactly what to do.
Yes.
With newer tools, it will not know what to do. It will be executing -help like crazy.
Right.
Right? So the future of tools like this depend on how fast it will propagate through the ether to internet and become a common knowledge, extensive common knowledge of LLMs. When that happens, I have zero reasons not to use something like that over a Playwright MCP. No reasons at all.
Correct. So let me show you the skill that is defined here. And let's see how this lines up with what you were just talking about.
There we go. Yeah.
Right. So agent browser, description, then browser automation. Here's the quick start. Here's the core workflow. And then here are all the different commands. Right. So what you were just saying is it's the LLM's going to run -help. Well, I've done that for it. Right. With maybe some extra ideas.
Here's the good news and bad news.
Okay.
The goal of probably the biggest advantage of this is to reduce the amount of context model needs in order to work with it effectively.
Yes.
Now, the good news is that if you have a working session that does not end up using browser in any form or way, you're saving context with this.
Right.
But the moment you start using browser, it will load all that. And you will not be saving context, assuming that MCP as an alternative, whichever you're using, is not going crazy with the amount of descriptions it gives to tools, which it does. But that's the bad design of MCPs.
Yeah. So I don't have any MCPs installed here at all.
Very cool.
So it's doing that. So let's go back over to the documentation, because I don't remember what it said to do. Because now, in theory, I've got everything I need. Right? I've got the skill installed. And let's say, let's see, I don't have a login.
No, that's cheating.
Okay.
That's cheating.
So what do you mean to say?
That's the login. Don't mention user browser, agent browser.
Okay. Take a look. Let's look at this week's page. Right? What problems do you see? That seems like a reasonable thing to have a browser agent.
Go for it.
I think that seems okay. And we'll see if it does that. Yes, I want to fetch it.
So it didn't do it. Fetch is a built-in browser in Claude.
Okay. Yep, fair enough. Let's see. All right, so let's...
What you can do is /skill.
So I can
whatever
say...
agent browser.
Yeah. And then, actually here, let me do this. Well, now I already have that, so let me clear this out. Let me clear the context so we're starting back clean. So if I do that, and I say /agent browser, oops.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah, that's
No.
correct. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just hitting 1 now instead of 2. All right, let's see what it says. Missing transcript display. The read is visible, but there's no transcript content displayed on the page itself. This is a significant UX. Okay, you have to click through. Yeah, I know. That's what I want. YouTube embedding, which is good, but it takes significant space at the top. Consider where this is optimal layout. Okay, whatever. The guest, Pete Hunt, and the host information below the fold. Okay, that's actually not a bad idea. Episode metadata doesn't properly show that. Okay. Navigation control, social media, all that stuff. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let me do this. There is a project that I'm working with somebody on called Band Flow. That's for people that like cover bands or whatever to use for keeping track of set lists. That's all it is. This is the JavaScript thing I'm saying. So I'm going to say again here, I'm going to say agent. I'm going to clear this just to get everything out. So I'm going to say agent browser. Let's go check the login flow for band flow. Let's see what it does. Okay, sure. Okay, so there's the open. Oh, lots of weirdness going on. Okay. There it goes. Who knows what's going on here? I mean, this is interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's doing the same thing like what it would do if you say create a pull request, what's or not, right?
Yeah.
Using CLI, it's cool. So we should have CLIs. I like CLIs. My only problem is that it would be even in the future you will not need that skill. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because at some point it'll just be part of knowing, like GH today, right?
The only thing you might do, because it is highly unlikely to become the only option LLM will ever consider. In case of GitHub with CLI, kind of, it assumes.
Yeah.
Period, right? This will be one of many, so you might need to have in your agent MD instruction, like, hey, we use agent browser.
Right. Which gets me back to creating skills earlier. I'm working on a fix issue skill. Now, if I say fix skill, I mean fix issue skill, just because I keep smashing things together. Mm-hmm. And I've set my fix issue to do things a very specific way. It's pulling a GitHub issue. It does the work. Initially, it was doing the work and just putting it back to main. I figured, let's at least put it in a branch. And then if everything passes, build, test, everything passes, then go ahead and merge a domain. Otherwise, but then it was also, before I put it in, it would try to do that, but something failed, but the branch still got deleted. It's like, well, I don't want the branch deleted if there was a failure. Right? It would do the test would fail, and then the branch would still delete. It's like, well, no, leave it behind. Let me take a look at it. And then I know, so I've gone through this iteration on this fix issue thing for I don't know how long.
Yeah, that's how it works usually.
So
you don't do things from the first time.
No. But this is what's telling me now is I'm able to, like, when I put that skill in the repository, the other guy that's working on the project can do the same thing. Like if I'm working and it's like we're following the same process. We're not going to screw up and do the wrong thing, more than likely.
Yeah. So, I have two problems with them.
Yeah.
With skills. One is your colleague might not be using Claude Code.
Correct.
Now, skills work almost everywhere. But what are you going to create? Soft links?
No.
To that?
No. That was the rule. Is we decided that no, we have to use Claude Code. That's what we're going to do. So it was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, kind of. If it was a mutual agreement and small team, fair enough. But I really don't like the idea that we go back to, you know. I remember the days when companies were saying that you have to use Eclipse.
Yep.
It's kind of like don't do that. Kind of like you don't decide what I'm going to use to be productive, please. Yeah. And the second problem is, can you imagine that skill being useful in more than one project?
Yes.
Okay, so I created a bunch of skills. I have 5 or 6 projects that are somehow related, on which I work a lot lately. And I created skills. And I copied them to the other 4 or 5 projects. And guess what happened the next day? I updated the skill.
Yep.
And I copied it to 4 or 5 other projects.
Yes.
And you know what happened the third day? I updated the skill and I forgot to copy it.
Then you're like, why isn't it working the same way? Oh.
Yeah. Oh, wait, which one? In which repo did I update it?
Yeah.
Kind of, the distribution is a mess.
At best.
That's why I still have a slight preference for prompts for a single reason.
Yeah.
I can keep them in a repo. I can package them as MCP.
Yep.
Because MCP can serve prompts. And I say, I connect to this MCP. This is company prompts.
Yep.
And they're everywhere, wherever I want. And it works in Cursor, it works in Claude Code. I don't have to think about directories. I don't have to think about file names. When I update it in like a library, right? What do you do with libraries? You don't go to every single repo to update the library, the code of the library. You don't keep the library source code. Right. No, you have a library, you publish it somewhere, and then you use that same library in any number of projects. Yeah. It works. Not great, but better than what we have with skills. That's my issue. Yeah. There we go.
And I know it's going to be solved at some point. I just don't know what. I don't know if the MCP, here's how I think it's going to play out. I think the MCP spec will change to include skills.
I hope so. I wanted to do this, but it's a bit problematic.
Yeah.
So your skills are most likely skill MDN period. Am I guessing right? Yeah.
It is.
Okay. So in that case, your skills are no different from prompts. The only difference between that skill and a prompt is the tangible difference is that it can be auto-executed. So you don't need to. You can do /something.
Right. And
or you can say, hey, create a PR, and I have a skill for that. That's acting like MCP, right?
Yeah.
Normal MCP. But what makes skills potentially even better is that you can add scripts, for example, right?
Yes.
And then that skill becomes a package that has a skill prompt plus, now execute this script, now execute this, blah, 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 blah. That's a bit harder to serve through a remote server, right?
I know.
You would need to copy those.
Yeah. There's...
I'm saying that because I tried it. I tried to package skills.
Well, that's where plugin comes into play. But again, plugin is only in Claude. You can't do plugins across. It's like,
that's which plugins are kind of MCPs baked into Claude.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. But if you're just a solo person, don't make it hard.
Oh yeah, skills are awesome. Don't do any of the nonsense I said. Please don't.
So let me
waste your time.
This is the other thing that I've got going on. I've got some agents that do security analysis, performance analysis, accessibility analysis, all these things. And I've had them open up issues. Much like how we would build code, put it in Artifactory or Nexus or just a plain registry and then pull it out to do the deployment. I'm doing the same thing when coding. I have my specs or my bugs or findings that get put into an issue, and then I have my fix issue, go and pull issues and fix the issues.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's still that same waypoint. It's like it's that same pattern, just done somewhere else. Because I don't like, anytime Claude says, would you like me to fix this? It's like, no, I want you to create an issue. I'll tell you when to fix it later. Because then I can look at the issue. It's like, okay, is the issue really what I expect it is? Because sometimes it's been wrong. Not most of the time.
Yeah, and also, I tend to detect things that I want to do, whether it's a bug fix or a new feature, much more frequently than doing it.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait, I should add this. And not right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just detected an issue. I want it fixed. I need to record it as an issue, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I would be working alone, this is, again, huge. And I feel this is where we have those discrepancies between some people liking some things and some people liking other things. Like, hey, Victor is not very happy with skills. And you are, dear viewer, very happy. You're likely working alone. Right? There is a huge difference. Like what you just said for issues. If I would be working alone, I would not be creating issues.
Oof.
I was just having files in the repo. Well, why would I bother with issues? It's just files.
It is, but here's the one thing I found. And again, this could be done with files too, because an issue is a remote file. I want to check for dupes, which it could find on local file system, probably faster, right? I'm finding duplicate issues, so I'm not reopening or opening if it's really.
It's the same but faster.
It's the same but faster, correct? So you have a repository keeping track of just this information.
Yeah,
because I'm working with one other guy.
Not to lose it.
Yeah, well, I'm working with one other guy on that bandflow thing that we saw, and so it's like
there we go.
That's where the issue comes. I mean, it could stay in the repository, but in this case, to me, the issue feels like a better solution.
Definitely. So I'm not saying anything against the issue. I'm just saying if I would be alone forever and ever, I would be doing things very differently. Like today, I would not have CI pipelines anymore.
I've eliminated most of mine. Okay, here's one thing I have done.
Because I'm going to run tests before I merge it.
Yes.
Why would they run it over there if I can run it on my machine perfectly well?
One thing that I have done in my 2 Go projects, I'm going to try it in the JavaScript project this weekend, is I have moved to task file. To do, instead of doing make, because nobody likes it. Okay, make's great, but okay. I know I can run task anywhere, whether it's Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever. Yeah. And I'm turning things, so because I was having a conversation with Claude. It was one of those nice planning conversations. So I went into plan mode. This is where I'm looping back around to plan. And I was like, hey, look, everything you've got in this skill or in this agent, you're just got all these raw inline bash scripts. It's like, shouldn't we turn these into like real bash scripts, or could we turn it into a task in a task file? And I was like, oh yeah, these would be good to go into a task file. These we might as well just keep inside the skill because it doesn't make a difference. So now my task files are getting large, but I'm okay with that because at least I know always it's going to run this way. Yeah. I don't have to worry. So we're talking about determinism. Well, not today, but it's very deterministic. It's like, okay, all the agent's going to do is the agent thing, and it's going to hand off to do the deterministic thing.
Exactly.
Which is what I want. I don't need each time to have the agent coming up with its own way to build something this time. That wasn't the same as last. It's like, don't do that. So if you're looking for that sanity, go into plan mode if you're using Claude. And working, because once you've decided that, okay, yeah, everything looks good from a plan perspective, it'll automatically switch over. It'll tell you, hey, do you want to auto accept or just not auto accept? And then it moves you right out of plan mode. And that's night and day.
To be honest, but still I like writing the plan always.
Yes.
By default, it will just plan and then keep the plan in the context.
No, I
don't like
stop.
that.
Yeah, just write it out. That way I've got it.
Write it down, yeah.
Okay, ruler over the top. And the Shift X says, you need to lay off the Coke.
I do. I laid off for much worse things than Coke, so I'm still happy.
How much Coca-Cola do you think you drink a day?
Don't ask.
Oh, that's not good. I had a friend that used to drink a 6-pack before he left for work. And
yeah, I don't drink a 6-pack. I have 5 and a Red Bull.
So we'll be back next Friday, assuming that Victor is still alive after, how many would that be? 35 Cokes and 7 Red Bulls. That's just to get started in the morning. And who knows what will happen next week, because it'll be another short week. How many?
We haven't had the new model in a month. This is, I think the bubble is bursting.
How many releases of Claude Code do you think we're going to have by next Friday? So we're at 219 right now. How many? 3?
I don't even follow anymore.
Yeah, I just update every day. Sometimes, usually multiple times a day, just to. That's the problem too. Is I'm working on 3 different machines, so I'm having to keep everything. Now I need to have Claude go out and update all my machines for me.
The speed with which Claude Code is, so earlier you had 1 or 2 of the news is kind of something Claude Code better, Claude Code whatever. I don't watch those anymore simply because Claude Code is moving so fast that whatever you think is better, it's better this week. Kind of like that's how long it takes. But Anthropic could also calm down for a second and kind of figure out what you really want to do, because my brain is getting fried with it's MCP, it's a skill, it's a sub-agent, it's extension or plugin. Yeah. There are like 15 different ways to do the same thing.
Yes.
And hey, different people have different needs. Cool. But kind of, what is it? Kind of, can we figure it out, please? Kind of, I understand that we have 2 or 3 competing ideas, but not 15 competing ideas of the same subject in the same product. Kind of like, come on, Anthropic folks, calm the heck down.
Well, they already collapsed commands and skills, right? That happened last week before last. So commands are still there, but it's effectively a skill.
Yeah, realistically, there is no good reason why you would create a local prompt as opposed to skill.
Right.
No good reason. Don't do it. Still, I also don't like that Claude is insisting on skills so much, because I feel that for your personal stuff, great. I feel we need to figure out a good way how we can distribute. I'm going to call it instructions, right? Just for a second, kind of agent instructions or LM instructions. How do we distribute those, right? Because what I imagine is that the company will be running something somewhere, and it will have common instructions, how to do this, how to do that, and our agents will be connecting to that remote something to fetch those instructions. I'm intentionally being not using any specific terms, right? That's MCP today. Okay, you don't like MCP, Anthropic, cool. What is it? Because it's not skills. I cannot run skills remotely. And I think it's essential for company work, not individual, not you creating a game. It's essential to have a place from where we serve things to our agents.
Yep. And the repository can't be it. the project repository cannot be it because what if I don't sync that day? So if I don't pull in,
so those are different things, right? One thing is what this specific project needs, and those are the things that this project and no other project needs. And there can be anything between 0 and infinity of the things that are specific to this project and nothing else. And today that's Claude MD or Agent MD, right? Now there are things like this is how we create a pull request and everything associated with pull request, whatever that is. That's not project specific. I mean, if that's project specific, then you might have a serious issue in your company. There could be variations, and this is the part where I like agents, right? It's not a script. It can wiggle around depending on what's happening. Tests fail or tests didn't fail, and if they didn't fail, just continue. If it failed, then analyze and let's go into the different loop that will fix it. Cool. Kind of that's a flexibility I like with agents. But the rules, there are common instructions in every single company I know.
Yeah. I mean, can't you imagine that the people that are in charge of the DevOps pipe, they would want things done the same way across all teams, right? Preferably.
Doesn't have to be the same way. It can be 3 ways.
Right. But what I'm saying, same. If I've got three Go projects that are CLIs, I want all 3 of those projects acting the same way, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't expect the Go project to act like the Java project or the JavaScript project. I expect it. But I do expect anything that's in that lane to be the same.
And the beauty of it, if you do it right, is that you can still have variations. So I have a process how I complete the work on a feature. There are like gazillion steps. And I use that across different projects. But then I have instructions or skills in specific projects that, okay, but when you get to this part, I want this done as well. This kind of like deviation from the process, that's fine. Right? We can have deviations. But we need common processes. Otherwise, this is just madness.
Basically, all you're saying is everything is a pipeline. And everything's a pipeline. Everything has certain steps.
Workflow.
It has
Let's
a workflow.
call it workflow.
Workflow is better. Everything has a specific workflow, whatever that workflow is, and you've got pre and post around the commons to give you the ability to change.
Those are the diagrams with diamond-shaped parts where you have yes or no.
Yep. That's
the type of the workflow.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We've gone way long for you. You probably had a meeting, didn't you? Did you have a meeting?
Maybe. If I have a meeting, then I'm late to it.
Pretty late. Okay.
Let's see.
Good conversation.
Probably
pull this out to a podcast. It is Friday, so hopefully you don't have a meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I started it too soon. Are we done? Up. We're done. All right. We'll see everybody next Friday. Everybody have a great week. For people that are in the States, Monday is a federal holiday, I believe. So in case you're not working, go have some fun with Claude Code because you can, or any other tool. It doesn't matter. Or just get outside if it's not raining and snowing where you are. All right. See you later.